You're listening to Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio. Sponsored by Treebor Soft Mints. Absolute Radio.
So this is the 100th show. I'm Frank Skinner, and I'm with Gareth and Emily.
I know, we don't have any cake, I noticed. I thought the bosses would lay something on for us.
Well, you know, there could still be a surprise.
Better
ending.
be.
Yeah, I don't want to making a big fuss about it. People at home thinking, so what? You know, do I keep count of how many times I go to work? No, I don't. Do I think, oh, this is the 100th time I've clocked in at this factory? Of course not. I'll tell you what happened to me last night, speaking of broken Britain.
Oh, yeah.
I was with... some of you will know that I live with my girlfriend.
Yeah.
So, okay, you know, that's the 21st century. And at the moment, her sister is living with us as well. So, me and her sister, Rachel, we've got what we call the Cinema Club. Ah. So once a week, me and her get to the cinema because... well, my girlfriend, having seen Black Swan, said she'd never go to the cinema again, that she'd rather saw her foot off with a piece of ragged wood.
Doesn't that happen at some point in Black Swan? I'm sure it does.
That's 127 days, is it?
Oh, yeah. Hours, Gareth.
Hours.
In your case, it would be days.
Yeah, I don't know if you could last 127 days. I think the arm's got to go before then. Well, the arm would be so thin by then you didn't even cut it off, you can just wriggle out.
Oh, sounds quite good.
Anyway, so I went to the cinema. We were standing outside the cinema in Haymarket in London, a large conurbation in the southeast of England, and we were just standing, you know, doing those things about whether we're going to have salty or sweet. Those kind of pre-cinema debates.
Yeah.
And Rachel was just finishing a Chinese takeaway, and suddenly there was this noise, and I thought, whoa, God, what was that? And this woman next to her said, someone threw an egg. And someone going past in a car thrown an egg.
Thrown an egg?
An egg!
An egg. Wow.
Yeah, but that must have worked quite well with the Chinese food.
Well, luckily, it was all up the back of Rachel's legs and on her coat. I mean, who are these people?
I've had an egg thrown in my direction.
Yeah?
Yeah.
What was the context?
Well, I was in Brighton. I was on the
French Revolution.
I said let them eat cake, and they didn't like it.
Huh?
No, an egg exactly very similar. There was no Chinese to soften the blow, though.
No.
It goes everywhere, doesn't it?
What, an egg?
Yeah.
Well, it does. I mean, they're fragile in the extreme, I've discovered.
They should think about that before they throw them.
Yeah, some
it's just going to
people,
break.
they must have, say, 2 or 3 dozen eggs in the back of the car. They must drive around London all night. It was a drive-by egging. That's what it was.
And no Lady Gaga inside?
No.
Not as far as you saw.
What about if I'd been hit in the face? What about that? What if it hadn't snapped? What if it had just lodged in one of my eye sockets?
Wow.
These people... What if I'd had my mouth open talking, say yawning, it had gone and wedged in my windpipe?
That is a worry.
Yeah.
Was it mainly Rachel affected by the egg?
Yes, she took the brunt of it, I'll be straight. But what's happened to this?
Well, the thing is, though, Frank, you have been in the papers and on telly and stuff dressed as a giant chicken.
Oh, you think that's what it
Yeah.
is?
Maybe that's something.
Crisp and egg sandwich.
I need to work out which came first. Looking back. Anyway, thanks to Vicky Blight for the last 9.5 hours of our show. Take me back to dear old Blighty. Yes. I'm going to call her dear old Blighty from now on. She's nice, actually.
She is nice.
Yeah. I'd have happily had her jump out of a cake and
I'm glad you said that.
A big 100. Well, it's always going to be nice, obviously. So, yeah, I've had... I'll tell you what I did have by way of special treats, though.
Go on.
You may recall, regular listeners to this show, yes, you 4 people, that I've had a new shower put in my apartment.
Oh, yeah.
But I am sans soap dish. I'm son soap dish. You try saying son soap dish. It's not easy. I have no soap dish.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm having to wedge me imperial leather in behind the pipes.
Oh, God, Frank.
That's all right for the first... It's all right for the first 3 washes, but then it gets to a size where it won't
I
lodge.
don't want to know about the imperial leather.
It won't lodge correctly. Anyway, a nice...
I hate that you use old prison soap.
I've got the old prison. That's what they should have done, Absolute. On the walls at Absolute, there are album sleeves that have been embroidered by prisoners.
By old lags?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, probably current lags, presumably.
Okay, yeah.
They could have done us a lovely 100th card, couldn't they?
Oh.
Yeah? I think that would have been nice. A few little arrows. And do they still have little arrows? Has that stopped?
No, because they're not in Top Cat.
Okay, prisoners don't have little arrows. No, they have mobiles and cocaine. That's what I say.
Frank,
no wonder people are throwing eggs.
You can't say mobiles.
Okay, sorry. Anyway, I had a letter from Keith, Keeef.
Oh, our Keith. That sounds like our Keith.
And he sent me a soap dish.
That's lovely.
You can tell he's a business bloke. 'Cause he said, I'm supplying you with 1 times soap holder. 1 times. It's not a letter, it's a chitty. Is what it is. And he's written from... Now, how much of a company name is this? You know, when there's some companies you think, God, could they get anything to sound more like a company? He's written to me from TAP Refurbishment. Tap. It could be Tap Refurbishment, seeing as he sends soap dishes. Anyway, thanks for that, Keith. And may I say that I shall be standing naked to that gift for ages. Oh, how did we get through 99 of these? Anyway, you can text us on 8 12 15 about anything you like.
Or send us a present.
You can text us a present if you like. What's our... Have we got any taboo subjects we don't want to be texted about?
No,
Leeds. City of Leeds.
Certain people I've dated, other than that, I'm fine.
City of Leeds and extendable dog leads are out. 8 12 15. Our guest today is Jason Byrne. I'm Roman Catholic. What else do you need to know that's relevant to the show? Oh, I don't know.
This is Frank Skinner on
Absolute Radio.
Frank Skinner.
Absolute Radio.
Frank, we've had an email in from
It's
Lee
about
Thomas.
time. I've been sitting here, sitting by the computer thinking, for goodness sake, someone help us.
This is from Lee Thomas in Japan.
Japan!
Wow.
Good
says-
morning, Tokyo. Nice to be seeing you. Remember that?
No.
No, don't know what that is.
Hello, Frank. At the end of your last show, you mentioned that you were dreading the prospect of having to go onto the field at half-time at the Hawthorns and talk about crisps, especially if West Brom were 3-0 down. Of course, as it turned out, they were 3-0 up at half-time. I just wanted to know exactly what it was that you said.
Well, I mean, I didn't say. It wasn't as terrifying as I thought.
Well, the crisps.
I mean, to be honest, just between us three, I'm a bit fed up now with the whole crisp thing.
Can I be honest as well? You're becoming a bit of a crisp bore.
Well, exactly.
You talk about them all the time.
There's not
Chris.
much to say about... What can you say about crisps? I've started telling all sorts of lies about them.
It's a very descriptive name. It kind of sums them up.
Yeah. Well, exactly. And, you know, I want to be... Obviously, there was a bit where I said, and for every bag... I was on the pitch, and I said, for every bag sold, 5p goes to Red Nose Day. And it got a big round of applause. It was quite an emotional one, but I thought, well, what am I doing, really? I'm just appearing on a crisp bag and doing this. I'm doing nothing. Nothing for the third world. I'm wasting eggs, for a start-off. If you can blame me for that. It was... I went on, and the mascot was there.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I don't know if you know, but I was the mascot once. I went on in the mascot outfit. Have I ever told you about that?
Yeah, and you quite like the anonymity.
Oh, I love the anonymity. Yeah. What is that? Anyway, yeah, and so he's a giant thrush,
Oh, yes.
the mascot.
That rings a bell.
Yeah. And he said to me, I went up to him and I shook his bird hand, his talon.
How old?
How old? Well, he's in a big suit.
How old do you think he is, though?
Oh,
Don't you have any idea from the voice?
I'd say he's late 30s.
Oh, I thought they were kiddies. That's awful.
Oh no! You
Okay.
couldn't trust a child in a big suit like that. Anything could happen. And he said to me, "So, when you coming back in here?" I mean, in the suit.
Wow.
Well, I mean, it was all sorts of difficult. I thought, well, it sounds like I'm joining him in there.
Yeah.
Is there going to be two of us in it?
He
one
wasn't
week?
in there last time, was he?
I didn't notice him if he was in there. He might have huddled into one of the wings. Maybe he's in the West Wing. Yeah, so that was a strange situation for a start-off. And then they said to me, "Oh, you've got to give a prize." One of the guys in the crowd, he's won a year's supply of crisps.
Wow.
Oh,
I thought, well, how do you estimate that?
yeah.
That's a good...
What's-
I've always thought that. How do you know what a year's
Well, also,
supply
it's
is?
a year's
What is
supply.
that?
Frank, just say you're the man at my corner shop, Mehmet, who only the other day said to me,
David?
No,
What's he called? Mehmet?
Mehmet,
Okay.
yeah. Why'd you say
Sorry,
David?
Not David Mamet.
No.
David.
No.
Is he a,
He's
Well,
a
I made
playwright.
that up.
He's
Yeah,
a
he's a
playwright.
playwright,
Yeah, he
yeah.
wrote American Buffalo, didn't he?
Yeah.
And Oleana, I
That's
think he
a
wrote.
very Radio 4 guy. I have to say, it's not going to play
No.
well.
You know, it's, you should be better off on Absolute Avant-Garde, our new digital channel. Music isn't just
Say
for
to them.
fools.
Do you want to know what Mehmet said to me?
By the way, for any estranged Roman Catholics, we've got a new digital channel called Absolute Absolution. When Father Dave McRae will forgive any sins that you like to get across. That's Absolute Absolution, because sorry seems to be the hardest word. Sorry, carry on, you were saying.
So Mehmet said to me, he said...
Mehmet.
Mehmet said, do you know what?
Mehmet.
He said, listen to what he said to me. He said, I love crisps. I said, oh, that's lovely, Mehmet. He went, I eat so many. I eat a pack an hour. I said, a pack an hour? I said, well, how many hours does he work? And he said, I reckon loads. By the end of the
Loads?
day, yeah, he has loads. But can you imagine if that was him, though?
Is he big?
Yeah.
Mehmet?
No, he's not. He's
Wow.
very sprightly.
Well, if there's any children listening, clearly this is proof. I'd say this is a green light for crisp eating. See, we've been told that whenever we talk about crisp, we have to say, but I do suggest you eat them as part of a healthy, balanced diet.
Is that right?
Yeah?
Does he eat other stuff, Mum?
I don't know anything else about his diet.
Mommy, that's his mum. She's called Mommy.
David Mamet wrote Mamet. I
Yeah.
don't know how you say it. Wrote Glengow, Glen Ross, and the verdict. Just explaining and fleshing it out. People, does that help him? I
Dear, oh
don't know.
dear. As I drove away from the... they gave out free crisps at the end of the game to everyone leaving the ground. I mean, what's 8,000 packets of crisps when you think about it?
Years
And
supply.
as I drove away, these crisps were all over the streets, blowing round under my car wheels. Just my stupid face with my £7 haircut, just blowing around West Bromwich. Just some terrible, bleak image of how I've dispersed my talent into the crisp business. What about that?
Wow.
I say, what about that?
Imagine how Gary Lineker feels. He's been doing it for ages.
He feels like death, I should think. God, I can't imagine the bleak storm of his inner world. Anyway, good player in his day. It is true though that no one knows this radio show exists. I say, I'm doing this radio. They go, oh yeah, are you doing a radio show? I didn't know that.
No one does
but they
today.
say-
They won't text or email in.
But they still say, oh, you're on the crisp packets. Is that? Have I got that the right way round? I wonder.
This is Frank Skinner on
Absolute Radio.
So, Frank, guess where I've been? I've been spreading myself all over the red carpet this week.
Nothing new about that.
I've been at the BAFTAs. I was at the Brits as well.
Oh, the Brits?
Yeah.
Wow.
Did you watch it on telly?
Yes,
Well,
I did
I'll
watch
say.
it on television.
Well, can I just say, being there, I felt very old, Frank. I really felt my age. I mean, I kept my coat on throughout because I was cold. That's very Nana at the football, isn't it?
Yeah.
It really was. I had my arms folded throughout whilst Rihanna was writhing around in front of me.
Oh, Rihanna.
Yeah. Do you like Rihanna?
No, I'll tell you what.
She got a standing ovation as well, Frank. I didn't stand for that. I remained seated at all times.
I'm not saying that Rihanna is I'm not saying she's a talented woman, but she isn't. But she's very keen on getting her legs out,
Oh, is that what you call them?
Rihanna. No, but I mean, I wouldn't normally say this about a woman, but as she's so keen to get them out, I
Yeah.
don't think they're her best feature by quite a long chalk.
Oh.
They look to me, when we used to make Guy Fawkes for begging, we used to beg
Right.
that time of the year.
Yeah.
We used to stuff my mum's tights.
All right.
And so they'd be stuffed in a very sort of straight, crushed up paper. And that's what she's got. Those very.
Rihanna
there's-
does not have Guy Fawkes
Yeah,
legs.
well, I'm saying that she has the legs of a 17th century Roman Catholic terrorist. No, they're not her best feature. She's got a
Really?
beautiful face and all that, but I would keep. If I was her, I'd get a nice pair of check Oxford bags, and that's what I'd wear on stage.
God.
The legs.
So harsh.
No,
Interesting.
well, she's brought it on herself, though. You know, I've got a very scrawny, horrible sort of toast rack chest.
Glad you said that.
Yeah, so I tend not to wear sort of open top, outfits.
Mostly just toast.
Yeah, I wear a bit
Where
of
do
toast.
you stand on the Rihanna leg debate?
I think Rihanna's a attractive lady.
I think
Oh, you
she's
went a
got-
bit creepy now.
She's got a
Frank's what
lovely
we're supposed to
face.
But you don't think those are her best features?
The leg shot. Put the legs away, Rihanna. That's my advice.
She had
Well, also,
sort
I
of
don't-
a big sparkly curtain.
Yes, she did.
Well, I've heard that. But I'm not
Also,
one that we
Frank,
don't
the
indulge
other
in
thing
gossip.
that made me feel old... Oh, by the way, everyone was having champagne and vodka. Do you know what I had? A cup of tea.
You managed to
And
get a
a
cup of tea at the Brits.
yeah.
That reminds me when I went to see Pauline Black's Penetration, which was a punk band at Birmingham Odeon, and I had ice cream in the interval. It was on sale, why not?
I felt great with my tea, Frank.
How did you
getting
get that at the
Because
Brits?
there's a little Starbucks that ran in the O2. So if you can get someone to go out for you, which I was able
Of
to.
course you could.
So I managed to get a nice cup of tea. So sat there with glasses on, arms folded, coat on, cup of tea. And then a series of people came on. I didn't know who any of these people were.
It's because they took those 2 draft excluders away from the door. I know those were Rihanna's legs.
Frank!
So who came on?
CeeLo Green,
Yeah, what was...
Tiny Temper.
I have to
Temper.
say, I did feel quite old watching. I didn't know any of those people.
you?
My favourite bit was when Tiny Temper said, because his single pass out, he did it with the Labyrinth. And he said, so...
Have you Googled him? Or
No,
did you know?
I know all about it.
You
My
knew
fingers-
that?
He's so
my fingers on the
Googled, Frank.
pulse.
He's so Googled.
My finger's on the pulse. And he
See?
said,
Oh, yes, I can see that lentil under your nail.
I can't accept this award without Labyrinth. I can't accept it without...
Well, that's what he was saying.
Yeah,
Then there was that
yeah.
horrible
And then
silence.
just horrible
That
silence.
was awful. So,
Oh,
And
no.
what? Labyrinth got lost.
yeah.
If your name's Labyrinth, you can't get lost.
Oh, I
And
see.
then, Frank, then a man ran on and set fire to himself.
Oh, God, I know that terrible.
I thought
I
that
was
was
crying. I had tears in my eyes. I
that
thought it was
you,
real.
yeah.
I thought there'd been an
For a minute.
accident.
I thought James Corden had been lighting his own wind, and because he has that look about him as a man who'd light his own wind, and I thought it had gone wrong, and he'd just been running around on fire. I mean, it would have been one of the great Brits.
Right.
Yeah.
He would have still gone better than I did,
Now.
to be fair.
All the celebrities were there. Oh, I saw Tess and Vernon were there. Well, I don't think they had. I don't know if they had a seat, but they kept just standing. It was like they were gate crashing. They never sat down. They were just milling around, moving from
He's
table to
probably
table.
trying to talk her out of a sulk. They probably had a row and she's come on, we're going. He's going, no, come on. Oh, no, don't go. Oh, don't go. He's probably saying all that. Oh, yes. I was playing the ukulele for most of it.
What,
Right.
throughout the Brits?
Yeah, I was at home. I wasn't there.
Oh, okay.
So they'd say, and now it's Sea Lilo
Okay,
Lolo
fine.
Green.
It's not
doing
Sea Lilo.
And I go, I go cleaning windows to it. So I didn't hear anything that they sang.
What about...
Niles Barkley, they weren't very good.
They're
That
not
was
on
CeeLo
it.
Green.
That was CeeLo Green.
Was that?
Niles Barkley,
He is
4
the
years
same
ago.
thing.
Oh.
And also, take that and as what Gareth calls the apocalypse clothing.
Yeah.
I don't like those outfits. I don't think it's quite right. You were a bit concerned about Robbie Williams, weren't you?
Well, Robbie Williams used to be the king of the Brits, and now he's just in the background looking bitter.
yeah.
I was worried about that. I thought I would not have been stunned if he'd have suddenly took out an automatic rifle and took 7 or 8 people away. Not just fellow band members, but people that just happened to be in the... He had that look about him. It's only a matter of time before he goes postal. You heard it here first. And Cheryl Cole
Yeah.
described Rihanna as my girl crush.
Oh, yeah, she did. Well, not yours, it seems.
Well, no, but like I say, great newsreader, Rihanna would be. Beautiful newsreader. It's one of those, oh, God, she's beautiful, that newsreader. I saw her out the other day, oh, no. Yeah. I think we should talk about that. Do you have a same-sex crush, Em?
Wow.
Save it, because we're
Okay.
I'm going to play a track I
Okay.
really, really like, and I'd just like to get into that. I don't want to go into it off filth.
I understand.
Do you know what I mean? I want to go into it. I feel bad about Rihanna now, but I've said she's got a beautiful face,
Yeah.
great top half. If you want to make it
Great
physical,
top half. I'm talking about a footballer.
But she's-
Horrible.
she is a game of 2 halves. That's what she is. But I wouldn't normally talk about her. But she's so, get your clothes off. She's made it that you can't not talk about her in those terms. So she's brought it on herself.
Well, there you go.
She's doing ever so well. I don't.
Oh,
think she'll
God, I don't think
worry.
she'll. Don't you think she'll care about me doing a show that no one's heard of for a bag of crisps?
This is Frank Skinner
Absolute.
Radio.
That's Oh Pity by Cashier Number 9. Number 9? Number 9? No, some of you who've texted in this morning might have thought they haven't read my text out.
Yeah.
That's because we've only just got the machine working that sends a text. So what we've had now is an avalanche. So there might be a brief period while that goes on. But thank you for your text. We just thought that you didn't care and you'd stop texting. But
There's lots of lovely texts.
Is there?
Nice
Can you give me an example, just off the top of your head?
Well, there's a few people texting and they've had egg incidents as well.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Is there a spate?
There's a spate of eggs. Michelle from Lee.
Michelle is a good person to have an egg incident.
She's called Michelle from Lee. That's a bit odd. She says, Frank, re-eggs. I went to see Dartford.
Re-eggs? Is that the one with the square legs? Re-egger. No, go on,
She
sorry.
went to see a school. I'm actually not going to name the school.
No.
But it was a secondary school option for their daughter. Walking back to the train station, car passed at high speed and I was hit. Covered in gunk, heart racing, violated.
Well, it's a fabulous... it's a sort of turn into a telegram at the end.
Then she says, well, she then adds, a few minutes later they came back for my hubby. We'll never go to Dartford again.
So don't go to that school.
No,
That's
whichever
the
one it may
area
be.
So it is. It's not. I thought it was. It had never happened to anyone before. That was the way I was
loads
feeling
of people
about
out there, Frank.
it. Well,
Rachel says the egg definitely came first. Chickens are descended from dinosaurs and they lay eggs.
oh, I see.
But the text has gone off now. And it's
Text has gone again.
Yeah.
Well, something's happened.
Oh, okay. So thanks for that brief little... It was like, if you can imagine, there was just a slight slit in the curtain, the dark curtain that's fallen on us. We are separated from the outside world. There was a moment when the light shone in. Oh, it's beautiful. I could feel it on my face.
got it back, I've got it
it's
back, I've
again.
got it back.
It's tremendous news. It's light and dark. It's like being... You know, we're in a car driving down a sort of tree-covered lane. and the sun is sometimes there, sometimes not. It becomes intermittent.
Yeah.
Okay. So what about, anyway, same-sex crushes?
Oh, yeah. So you wanted to know mine, Frank?
Yes.
Well, I'm reluctant to say it because there's the obvious one. I know everyone says it, but Subo, obviously. But as well as that...
I thought she was my same-sex crush.
Yeah. That's the great thing about her. She's like the Swiss Army penknife.
Something for everyone.
Yeah.
I do like Alexa Chung. I really like her. Do you know that one, Frank?
Yeah.
Don't start me on that.
Don't you like her?
No.
Oh, she's one of my favourite girl crushes. Why not?
I was walking across... is it called the Jubilee Bridge? No, the Hungerford Bridge, I think it's called.
Oh, yeah.
It crosses the Thames. And she was there doing a link...
Oh, was she?
For whatever was that date exactly. I mean, there's no excuse for that. For that, whatever what was that pop program?
Oh,
she did?
T4, that T4
Yeah,
thing
that
she used
pop
to do.
programme.
Yeah.
Pop World.
Sound like me at the Brits.
Pop World.
And
Top of Pops.
I said to her, "Oh, shall I join you for this link?"
What does she say?
And look, obviously joking, and she went and looked at me like I was just scum.
Oh, dear.
And I thought, that's me. I mean, it might have been, she might have been nervous, preoccupied, it could have been a one-off, I don't care.
Maybe it was your £7 haircut. She might have been judging you.
Well, maybe, compared to her £7,000 haircut, maybe it did look bad.
Yeah, so no, she's my girl crush. What about yours,
But
Gareth?
she's got a very, I mean, she's a beautiful
Spectacular bod.
woman. She's a beautiful woman on the outside, that's what I'm saying.
Gareth?
I'm liking Andrew Garfield at the moment.
okay.
Who he's going to be the new Spider-Man
Yeah.
from The Social Network.
I know him, yes.
Yeah,
You like, oh no, you see, I wouldn't like,
No.
he's going to be hairy.
Do you think?
If you've got to go same-sex, I want someone who's going to be smooth.
But I tell you what put me
A
off.
reptile type. Duncan Goodhue is mine.
Oh.
No, it isn't. No.
Now, who's yours? And then I'll tell you what put me off.
See, in fact, imagine if you was walking down the street and someone threw Duncan Goodhue out of a speeding car. Be a while before you'd actually registered. You hadn't been. Mine, funnily, coincidentally, would also be from Social Network.
Oh.
What about that?
What, Jesse Eisenberg?
Yeah, Jesse Eisenberg.
Oh, he's one of mine.
really?
Yeah, I don't know why, but I find him
That's
strangely
interesting.
compelling.
I was thinking this week that I think all men are either the Andrew Garfield character or the Jesse Eisenberg
Are you actually
character.
thinking
I was
that? God
thinking
bless
that.
you for having such a thought.
Yeah, and so maybe, that's... when we look for our other half.
It's somewhat specific about. He looks puzzled. He always looks puzzled, Jesse Eisenberg, and I like that in
Yeah.
a partner.
I do.
That's the look I'm after. I don't want people thinking that I just like he's my type. I don't want Rupert Grint sitting at home thinking I'm in here. Because, I'm sorry, Rupert, but you very much aren't.
He doesn't look puzzled at all.
No, he's not puzzled. He's not troubled about anything. He just goes through life like a fool.
I actually have a massive crush on Jesse Eisenberg.
You as well?
Yeah.
What a three in a bed that could be.
Oh,
We could do a fivesome. Me and Andrew Garfield, you
We
two
don't
and
want-
Heisenberg.
we don't want you two in
That'd
the
be
bed.
great.
We could be up for that.
We need a duvet. You could make one out of web. Oh, that's tonight sorted.
You're listening to Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio, the softest, mintiest show in town. Sponsored by Tree Bar Soft Mints.
Absolute Radio.
By the way, Jason Byrne is with us after the news.
Yep.
Oh, lovely.
JB.
JB, as we call him.
Yep.
Do we call him that?
We do now.
Anyway, very funny man. He'll be on after. What else?
So the listeners will be very excited to hear that I've spent a lot of time on the train again this week.
Oh, you are a bit of a train enthusiast.
Always
We
good.
need to get some some train-type music to play under this.
You look like a train enthusiast.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, you
I'm
do.
sorry.
So what happened on the train?
So I was this week because sometimes technology throws up new moral conundrums. And
Loving that.
train-
Can I get that on a T-shirt?
Yeah, I think so. The train is not new technology, but I was watching. I had 8 hours a day on Tuesday and Wednesday on the train.
Were you Trans-Siberian?
Went to Edinburgh
Oh.
and back. And I had so to pass the time, I had The Sopranos on DVD.
Oh, I can't bear that.
Do you
No,
not like
it's
it? Why
awful.
not?
Oh, don't you hate it,
Well,
Frank?
to be honest, I got the box set. I watched the first 7
So did
episodes,
I.
and I thought, I've seen it now.
I was Italian man going, hey, Tony, what you doing?
Oh, I thought I've seen this. How many
Hey."
times have I seen this in films? Oh, Italian people shooting
I know.
people. Oh, yes.
It was like some terrible 80s pizza advert. Anyway, as
No,
you were.
but the genius of the extended series is that they, making something happen in slightly different ways over and over again over a very long period of time.
You're selling it very well. They should use you in the trailer.
Well, what they do to spice The Sopranos up is they have sexy scenes.
Well, they use chorizo sausage in our house.
Trust me, none of the people in that show are sexy.
No, it's kind of gritty, kind of dark, so they have scenes in a strip club where suddenly there's topless women.
Oh, do they?
Yeah.
Well, I had no idea.
And then very gratuitous violence.
Oh,
all of a
dear.
sudden, someone's head will be half hanging off
No.
and all smashed in. Yeah.
Oh,
Well, that's difficult to watch on the train because I get very paranoid. I'm worried about the other passengers, and I'm worried about someone looking over my shoulder and seeing a scene from a strip club and just thinking that's all I'm watching. When
Yeah.
the actual amount
I
of
might think
of
it's
toplessness is very-
it's something you've shot with your video phone the
Yeah.
previous night.
yeah, or some sort of
Well, I can
satellite
understand.
link up.
I can understand you.
So you have to be very careful, like angling. So I was angling the laptop, and I was just,
That sounds a bit sleazy, Angry.
Yeah. If I saw a man on a train angling a laptop, I'd know what was going on.
and I was just worried someone was going to tap me on the shoulder and say, "Excuse me, I think you're disgusting."
Yeah. What, again?
But I didn't.
No one's done that for weeks, have they?
Well, I always worry they're going to do that when I'm not in first.
I've never watched a TV or film on a. I'm not that kind of public
No.
transport. If there's one on the plane, but I wouldn't take my own. I'm not a person who takes my own DVD.
I've done my own. I've done tweezing. Tweezing hairs
Oh.
and things on the.
Tweezing.
Yeah.
What does that mean?
Well, when you get the tweezer when you pluck hairs
You've
out.
done that on
Pluck
public
them.
transport?
Yeah, I've done
Oh,
that. No, on my eyebrows, Frank.
No, that's. I'd say that's inappropriate.
Really?
behaviour.
Oh well, sorry.
Having said that, I've had the full physicals on an aeroplane.
Thank goodness.
Oh,
What I remember, I walked out of the cubicle and there was an Orthodox Jewish man standing there, full locks, beard.
David Baddiel.
He had a hat on. He had the hat on the plane. I don't know if he was anticipating an accident. And he looked at me. Obviously, he went to go in the toilet, and I said, "It's busy." As if I'd gone in and checked thoroughly and thought, gone in, there was someone in there. I said, "Oh, sorry, it's busy," and gone out again. It was awkward.
Oh, Frank.
I don't look back on it with any joy.
How do you think she feels?
Well, I don't know. I stopped reading the letters about 2 years ago. Anyway, yes.
A lady walked past and put it in perspective, though. She had 4 children with her, when they're going in the
Oh, I thought you
snake
might
down
have
the
changed
aisle.
the Zoom. I thought that's what you were going to say.
And it was quite a posh lady. And as she was walking along with all her 4 kids of various sizes, she said, "Well, I never wanted to have 4 children." And I thought,
Are you sure this wasn't in The Sopranos?
Yeah.
She said that as she went past.
I thought that
My
put
dad said that. It never bothered me. Look how I've turned out fine.
Anyway, if you've ever seen inappropriate behaviour on public transport, do let us know. Whether it was you, whether you saw it reflected in a mirror being done by you, or whether it was... I mean, keep it fairly clean. I feel I've already broached an area.
Frank on
Radio.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
Absolute Radio.
The cakes have arrived, not from the Absolute management, but from our own producer and associate producer, Emma and Daisy. But it's nice to keep it internal.
Yeah.
That's what I always say.
I always say that.
Yeah,
Yes. Swallow it down, keep it inside. Oh, internalise. No, I meant your emotions.
Yes.
What are you talking about?
So that's lovely,
They've
and
got-
we've got cakes with our pictures on.
They've got our pictures, and they're from my favourite cake shop, which I don't think I can say on Absolute Radio because it's a
can.
rude cake shop. You
Is
say
it?
it.
Oh, well, don't say it then.
No.
Anyway,
Um,
it's...
You can
yeah,
spell it. It's not rude spelling.
No, but let's not even say it.
The texts are coming
I'm
back
still
in
recovering
now.
from the Not the Weekend podcast.
That went down very well with our listeners. I'll
Yeah,
have you
but
know.
I thought
We
it
found their
seemed
level.
like it wasn't crude, but it felt like it was. Trying to get away from all that stuff.
beauty
You know,
of
I
it.
had 20 years of that, being known as Mr. Dirty Man. I've tried to clean up my whole act.
Frank, Sarah from Cambridge says, "Hi Frank, Emily and Gareth. Me and my boyfriend Andy are on our way to Birmingham to visit Frank Starr on Broad Street. We love you." Oh, I think that is so nice.
They can't be
Frank.
going just for that. Don't-
I think they are.
No, please, no. Are they?
No, please, no.
Oh, really? Oh, no, they can't. That's incidental in their truth.
No,
Lovely
it
that they're
says
gonna
we're
see.
going to Birmingham to visit the Star.
Yes.
Well, they might get to see. It's outside Flair's nightclub, so they could pop in
Well,
there
they
for a
could
drink.
combine the whole
They
thing
should
with
see the other sites around there. don't
Yeah,
they?
I think they shouldn't just do that. They can do what's it called, Oceania or something, the Ocean World place.
There's doesn't Noddy Holder have a star there as well?
He has a star. They can go
Ozzy
and have a look
Osbourne.
at that. Yeah,
Cinema
Do
nearby.
the
There's a cinema.
triumvirate.
yeah.
That's what I say.
Bloke from the Archers has got a star.
Got Harvey Nichols now in Birmingham, haven't they?
They got a Selfridges.
Tiny one.
Don't look at me like
Corner
that.
shop.
Yeah.
What they got in Bournemouth?
Nothing.
Yeah.
Really nothing.
Just remember that when you're looking at me in that
Nice
tone.
though. Please let me back in.
What else?
I live there. Hi Frank. Egged. Someone got egged at V Festival 3 years ago
Well, I expect that.
watching Kasabian.
Yeah.
I bet it was the Chelmsford. Am I right?
It doesn't say.
Rough, very rough. The
Yeah,
V
it's,
Festival.
I-
Oh, sorry. Do we promote the V Festival?
Yeah, we probably do.
Do we? Oh, it's brilliant. I love it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
love it.
It's the
I'm
best thing ever.
Free
I'm always
day.
at festivals, me. Frank, Rick Bartlett. I don't know if that name's familiar to you.
It does ring. It rings a bell.
Oh, Frank!
It rings one of those little bells you get on handlebars.
Well, that's because Rick Bartlett has sent in a text saying, "I would like to congratulate Frank for learning to ride a bike.
Well, that's exaggerated.
He was a
somewhat.
great student and he achieved lots in a very short time. A pleasure meeting you, Frank. Rick Bartlett, cycling instructor." Oh, he
Well,
gives his title.
Quite formal.
Yes.
Yes.
How was it, Frank?
Well,
Can you ride a bike?
wow.
I can ride a bike. I can't stop.
Why? Why you don't need to?
Well, I mean, I was on it for, I was 2 hours after he'd gone. I was riding it in the dark. I just couldn't. I can't work out. I really struggled with stopping. What I did was I just leapt off.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Didn't you put your feet down or something? Oh,
Well,
Brakes.
to be honest, the
Brakes.
bike my manager bought me was a bit big for me.
Oh, no, that's a
bit-
problem.
It was. It's a penny farthing. And braking on it was.
Were there no brakes? You didn't cut the brakes.
No, I mean I was wearing a tweed knickerbocker. I'd gone the whole hog, but no, I struggled to stop. So
Did you? But you started all right. I'm really impressed. How long did it take you to get going?
No, not long at all. Once I'd pushed off, I was going. I mean, I could feel it the next day. I
Yeah.
felt like that moment.
Well, because you hadn't stopped.
Yeah. Well, exactly. I did start. Eventually, I collapsed with exhaustion and just fell off. But I was nearly eaten by foxes.
Oh no.
But anyway, I felt the next day like if you can imagine how a wishbone must feel just before it separates.
Oh, yeah.
I had that feeling
that's
in the very
feeling.
core
Oh.
of my being, if you see my meaning.
brittle you were.
But,
Oh, Frank, congratulations on the bike riding.
well,
though.
I mean, I don't think I could go on the road. I had a bit of a moment when a woman had to brake suddenly because of my wobbling, and she actually skidded a bit. That was an incident. Maybe more of that after, but that was harrowing. But Rick was he was a fabulous teacher.
Yeah.
I think we're going to just stop in next week.
Okay.
We only have this This is Frank Skinner.
Absolute
Radio.
Jason Byrne has joined us.
How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. How lovely to see you.
Yeah, can I just say, as I was sitting outside waiting, just quickly, Frank.
Waiting? You're mad. You're obsessed with waiting.
Yeah, I love it. Yeah. Well, I just tell you, I was looking at the Comedy Award. You get these cards for the Comedy Awards in Edinburgh, and it shows you all the people that won it, okay? And I swear, you can check this, Emily and Gareth, but in 1992, Steve Coogan and John Thompson, right, it shows their picture winning, and they're in colour. And there's no just as it gets to yours in 91, it's in black and white.
Yeah, that was. I think that was when colour photography came in.
I couldn't believe it.
In 91.
It just goes you and Sean Hughes in black and white. It's not that.
Yeah, they're
old.
trying to say something there. They're trying to identify us as comedy past.
I don't know. Isn't it bizarre? I don't. 91. I was only left school. It was definitely colour.
Yeah. What? You left school in 91, and I won the Perrier Award.
No, I left school in 89.
Okay.
Did I just misinformation there, was it?
That's all right. Just threw me a little. If you're going to tell me any more lies, just give me a warning.
Known liar Jason Byrne is coming up.
So, Jason Byrne used to be a waiter.
Yeah, I did. Oh, yeah, I did.
Not in an amateur way, but in an academic trained way, am I right?
Yeah, I did, I went to catering college because I wanted to do hotel management. Because I thought, I'm not too bad with people, so I'll try that. So I went into waiting college. And
it's not called waiting college.
No, I think it's called Case. But it wasn't a college. It was a weird place. It was like a mid stop for. Anyway, there was lots of ex-cons around me working with me. They were all very strange people.
Well, they're good at waiting.
No, not really. They got. Because the guy who was teaching us, he used to pretend he was a customer, and they used to have to walk over, and they got a little bit too angry now and again with him.
Oh, I bet.
Yeah, and they just went, just what you want. But one of the things we did was, I remember holding a tray, and we had to put an apple on the tray and go around an obstacle course, like hold a tray over your head, and see if you could actually balance something on a tray while you walked around.
It's like hole in the wall. That could be a round on hole in the wall.
To be fair, Frank, that's quite easy though. One apple hole.
No, but the apple would roll around the tray.
Oh,
yeah, but
okay.
what did you then? If you got good at that, did you do an orange?
Oh, yeah.
That'd be the test.
Do you know what? Thank God you weren't there. Up in the
Start
game.
with a banana. Get your confidence up.
And did you ever use your waiting?
No, I actually then went straight into bar work then. So I did use my tray skills. Because the worst thing, because I remember walking through a room with a tray.
Tray was my major.
Yeah, it was actually. But I remember walking through, and I remember they're like called little bottles, and one of them were on the edge, and I was holding putting drink on a table for these people, and the baby bottle just fell over really gently and just went down the back of this woman's top.
Oh no!
But it actually looked as if I did it on purpose.
And you said, take that home with you, love.
Yeah, that's for you. And I put a gin on her back as well. And I put a lemon in her mouth. No, I didn't.
I'm loving it. So, you're about to go on tour.
Yeah, I have. I'm doing Leicester Square Comedy Theatre. I got my last one tonight. And then I have to go to Australia for 10 weeks. And do
what a shame. I have to go to Australia.
Well, the great thing was... the great thing about going to Australia is that they love their comedy so much. Because I'm going to Brisbane, where the floods were.
Oh yeah.
And during the floods, I sold 200 tickets. And,
really?
Yeah. They were like literally sitting in boats and stuff, and they went, I think we need a bit of a laugh. And they must have went online or something. I don't know. They couldn't even get out of their houses, and they
How fabulous!
I know. So we're going to be going there. Then Melbourne.
Is it dried out now?
I think it is. Yeah, there's not really. I mean, Aussies are brilliant at getting on with stuff.
Yeah,
they don't really moan too much about it. Maybe it is, but we're not really going to hear much more about it now.
You could be on a raft.
Yeah, I could.
Well, that'd be fine, wouldn't it? Be a fabulous experience.
Kevin Costner's movie. You remember that one that flopped? He was in the water.
Yeah. Waterworld, was it?
Oh God, yeah. Yeah, what was that? The whole world was covered in water. Was that what it was?
Yeah.
And we all had to live.
Hence the title.
Yeah.
Water
World. Yeah, can you imagine? It was like them ages to think the title of that.
There was a bit at the end that they found that wasn't. No, they did find an island.
No, that was the sequel, I think.
Oh.
Or did he not go around with a bit of muck or a bit of thingy in his...
Anyway, while they discussed the plot of Waterworld, we can listen to some music.
Great.
You're listening to Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio with Treebor Soft Mints, bringing a softer, mintier feel to your Saturday morning.
Absolute Radio.
Jason Byrne is with us, and
Hello.
Jason, I think of you as a comic who could basically play to any audience.
Yeah.
But you played to Man United, the players and the...
Well,
when
you
I
see-
read that, I thought, whoa, what was that like?
Yeah, well, you see what happened there. This was they said, "Can you do the Man United Christmas party?" Right, and I went, "Yeah." Didn't even,
You're a Man United fan,
yeah,
aren't
so
you?
I didn't even think. I just went, "Brilliant! I'll get to meet the players. I've never met any of them." So I arrive into Manchester, head towards the stadium. The car takes a slight right and turns towards the car park of the stadium. I'm going, "Oh no, I think we should be going in there." And the man goes, "No, I was told to bring you here." So then I get in front of a marquee and I go in and I go, "Oh wow," it says the one who's organising it, "What players are here?" And she goes, "Sorry, what players?" "Yeah, players." I was like, "Who's in there?" Like Giggs and Rooney and
Yeah.
all of that. And you're going, No, this is just for the staff of Man United.
Oh,
And I went, "What?" and they went, "Yeah, but, Peter Kenyon's in there, And I went, "Oh, okay. And I went in, and then it was a nightmare. I went in, and it was a stage. But the stage was done out, like, probably about 60 foot long by 40 foot wide, with a barrier around it. All people sitting around it having their dinner. Basically, I found out that in Man United, the staff, there's the cleaners and there's the pitch, people who are working the pitch and the lines, people who mark out the lines. They all only know each other, in groups.
Right.
So they were all in their little groups. So they had no connection to each other whatsoever.
No community spirit.
I was in the middle of the stage trying to look over barriers at people, right? And they couldn't hear me. No, I couldn't even see where Peter Kenyon was. Just going, "Oh my God, I'm dead." And Alex Ferguson wasn't there either. He didn't even turn up. So that's all
That
I
might
had.
have been a blessing in disguise.
Oh
to be
yeah,
fair.
thank God, right? But then, right, I did my gig, right, barely got through it. Came off and, "Oh my God, that was a nightmare." And the reason for the big stage is that they were bringing on an acrobatic fire act, which, like, these 20 people came on and started
Sounds
doing
like the Brits,
acrobats.
Frank.
Yeah, and they were spinning around and doing fire stuff and everything. And they did this amazing show. And when they finished, I swear to God, literally just went,
Well, that's something, isn't it?
"It's like that," and that's gone.
Thank God for small mercies. At least they didn't go well.
But it was my last gig of the whole year. So I went back to my hotel room and had a party on my own. I got a bottle of red wine and I downloaded the hits of the 80s.
Oh,
And I sat in my underpants and danced with my earphones on.
You don't want it to be the last gig of the year. That's
No.
like when England played really badly
Yeah.
before a long break.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened. I was going, "Man United, come on."
So I was looking at your sort of biog.
Yeah.
I didn't realise you'd done so much acting stuff. You were a lizard in
Yeah.
Alice in Wonderland.
Yeah, that was bizarre, yeah.
No, I didn't. I'm not aware of an Alice in Wonderland with Whoopi Goldberg in it. Did I miss?
They keep saying, yeah, Whoopi Goldberg, she was in it, yeah, and Gene Wilder was in it, and Robbie Coltrane. It was made for TV. It's
Oh,
always
right.
on every Christmas.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, you'll always see it. I'm the White Rabbit's gardener.
You're a lizard.
Yeah, but I'm a lizard in it, yeah.
Okay.
I'm not... They only did my face up with prosthetics. But I'd never acted in my life, and I'd never been in front of a camera. That was the first time ever in this big, huge studio where they were making this movie. And I'll never forget, because the White Rabbit was this little man called Kieran, and he was great. And he'd take off his head and then have a fag,
Yeah.
and he was a stuntman for children, which was just this amazing little fella. And then the day
He was a stunt man for children.
yeah, he's a stuntman for children
Because he was small. Oh, I see. Yeah,
he's
I thought you meant at children's parties. He ran through walls. That would have been brilliant.
Dip. Oh, Kieran. But the weird thing was then, I was with another guy who was my assistant gardener. It's all getting very complicated now. But he was about 75, but he was James Joyce's nephew. This day just wouldn't end, right? James Joyce.
How the mighty have
I
fallen.
know, I was going, what? And he lived with James Joyce in Paris. This man.
Blimey, and now he was the assistant to a lizard.
Yeah. From James Joyce, one of the best Irish writers ever in the history. And then there he was, yeah. He was.
Don't say that thinking the absolute listeners don't know who James Joyce is.
No, sorry.
Absolutely.
Yeah, well-
we had a Finnegan's Wake phone in last week.
Oh, did you really?
Yeah,
I
probably.
thought-
We've only asked you in to read some of the answers. But I couldn't make head or tail of them.
No, you're dead, right?
This is Frank Skinner on
Absolute Radio.
Frank Skinner.
Absolute Radio.
Rolling in the deep by
Doesn't go
Adele.
like that. Like the
Doesn't it?
storm.
Rolling in the deep.
You think
Adele, I saw Adele was on the Brits, wasn't she? And
Yeah.
doing a very sad. And James Corden said that thing about you don't need pyrotechnics and backing
No.
dancers and all that. He said that at the Brits, which is essentially nothing but
They've just been a
pyrotechnics.
stuntman on fire.
Yeah, exactly. But she was she actually cried during the song was so sad she cried. And then I saw her and I thought, oh, you know, how moving.
Oh.
It reminded me of when Cher Lloyd cried on, remember that? And then an hour later they cut to her just in the crowd and she still looked a bit teary. An hour later.
Or maybe she was next to me with my grim face.
I'm thinking it wasn't emotion, it was conjunctivitis.
Yeah. Allergies.
Yeah, also I don't want that much emotion, do you know what I mean? Calm down. Anyway.
We've had a couple of texts in.
Good.
We've had one in about Black Swan, Frank.
Oh, yeah.
Which says, can't help wondering why your girlfriend disliked Black Swan so much. Surely there are hundreds of worse films, and I thought it was worth it for the effects alone. Could you clarify this, please? From 060.
Yes, 060. You've never been more wrong in your entire life. I saw it, I tell you what I thought, and I'm sure you're a lovely person, I appreciate you texting in. I thought it was a posh horror film. It's what people who are posh think a horror film should be.
He means horror. Yeah, go on.
Yeah, exactly. And I thought it was absolutely terrible. I mean, one of the worst. I was appalled by it. I didn't come out the cinema thinking, I didn't like that much. I was appalled that it existed.
He really hated it.
I've heard that it's a love it or hate it film.
I think you'll find it's just a hate it film.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what it's got. It's got too much acting in it.
There's a lot of acting.
You know, when people are doing a lot of acting, you can tell Natalie Portman thinks, right, I'm really going to do some acting now. And I don't want that. Just tell the story.
And
There is no story. There's no character development. Starts off, it's a neurotic girl, a stupid, hatchet-faced mother, some
How dare you?
creepy, lechery old teacher, and an odd American girl who seems a bit wild. That's how they start, and that's how they end the film. No one develops, no one learns anything, there's no journey. They die, and I wish they'd died 2 minutes in. If you don't do anything else this
They
year,
die at the
don't
end.
go and see Black Swan.
Oh, he's given away. No, they
Tell
don't.
me
do
they
they?
die.
But no, there's always...
Foul
There's you're right, there's always the angry sort of dance instructor. You will never be the Black Swan. You don't have it in you.
I remember Dr. Samuel Johnson said of the poet Thomas Gray, he was very dull, but he was dull in a new kind of way, and so people thought he was interesting.
Oh.
That's what it's
That's
like.
what you think.
It's bits like she wears a white fluffy scarf when she
To
walks
show
around
she's a
town.
swan.
Oh, to remind us of the swan imagery. How very clever. And this thing that she trained for 18 months to dance.
Well, she just didn't eat, basically.
Yeah, but so what? What's that got to do with it?
She did win the BAFTA, though, because I went to the BAFTAs. Yes, I did.
I
go
know
to the
she
BAFTAs.
won.
Yeah.
There was much booing and the language from my girlfriend when she won.
Really?
Natalie Portman. Because we both hated the film
Yeah.
with a vengeance.
Oh, dear.
I'll tell you what was a very actory thing. You know, we talk about flash frames when you stop fancying someone.
Yeah.
Well, my Andrew Garfield crush ended when he said, David Fincher would like to be here to collect this award, but he's in another country preparing his next gift for us.
Oh, that sounds a bit awful. I don't like the sound of that.
No, maybe he was just wrapping socks, though. I think he buys the people he works with quite a nice little... By the way, we had some cakes... Did we mention we had cakes coming?
No, I can't remember, but we have, and
I
they've got
think we
pictures of
did.
us. Yeah, we did.
cupcakes with us on. I like eating stuff with me on. Crisps, cakes.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'll just draw me on a banana. Just for the sake of that. I enjoyed the BAFTAs more than the...
I enjoyed them.
Well,
Well, I
you
don't
were on
like-
it. There was a shot of you in
I
the crowd.
know,
That
I
was
was-
brilliant. You had glasses on.
I
That's the
couldn't
last
see.
thing. Your big moment. You had glasses on.
I couldn't see. I was like sitting there and I couldn't see. Oh no, I think they look quite elegant with my look. Played down my sexuality. I felt.
But
Oh,
were you chewing gum?
Everyone keeps telling me I was chewing gum.
Yeah, well, that's a
I was like
relief.
Alex Ferguson in a wig. I didn't mean to be chewing gum.
Were you chewing gum?
No, but my gentleman friend next to me had said, "Do you want some gum?"
Weren't you sitting next to
But when
Jane Golden?
she was on my right. Had a gentleman friend on my left.
She looked like she'd hired as a sort of Victorian travelling companion. You sitting there with your spectacles on and your hair pulled back.
That's very kind of you.
Just
Thank
carrying
you.
a portmanteau.
Thank you very much, Frank. But no, my gentleman friend said to me, "Oh, you're chewing." He said, "Do you want some gum?" Whenever anyone says that, I always think they mean you stink. Like your breast smelled. So I had to take
you
it.
had
I
to.
couldn't not take it.
I'm really pleased because seeing just in your open, because you were laughing, your open dark mouth and just one bit of white, it looked like a stray tooth. It looked like you were sort of
Oh, didn't notice
weird
that.
prospect.
I was
there.
still reeling from a swan clip, I think. Well, that's about it for our 100th show. I, for one, am glad it's over. You can listen to the Not the Weekend podcast, available from Wednesday, which will be brilliant. Looking forward to it. Martin Lee's on next. I don't even know Martin Lee.
I don't either.
Exciting.
Martin
No.
Lee.
Yeah. Brilliant. So, what's happened to Ben Jones? That's what we're asking.
I don't
ourselves.
know. He's not here today.
That wasn't him on fire, was it?
At the Brits, maybe
Yeah,
it is.
I thought a sort of silhouette of baseball cap.
He did say he was invited. Maybe that was how.
Yeah, so if you're if you're not doing anything around tea time, I'm one of the judges on Let's Dance for Comic Relief.
Oh, how exciting!
Yeah, I think it's me, Graham Norton, and Mubarak. Who now is doing a lot of, former President
doing the
Mubarak.
show.
Yeah, he's doing quite a lot of show busy stuff. So, bless him for that. Thank you very much for listening. Might I say, I just love you all.
You're listening to Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio, working towards a mintier world with Treebor Soft Mints.
Absolute Radio.